Well, good morning and welcome back. In this video, you guys remember Ciera? I had just done her color before quarantine hit. She was supposed to come back in and get a little bit blonder. We were taking her there gradually. This is her video from before, and this was kind of like our inspiration picture. We just wanted like a sprinkle of blonde with a little bit of richer roots, and we were unable to get her as light because I was taking it easy on her hair because it's longer and fine. We did a color melt to blend everything in and a toner on the ends. If you did not see that video, I suggest you click the link above. I'm going to put right up here now and go watch that first video and then come back over here.
Hey guys, before I finish into the video, I would like to really quickly say, for those of you that are subscribed, thank you for returning. And if you are here and have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have over 100 more videos on all things hair coloring tutorials, cutting tutorials, balayaging, color melts, business tips for hairstylists. By hitting that subscribe button, you are actually helping support this channel. And when you do that, it makes it way more possible for me to get these videos out to you. I mean, it's 4th of July, so maybe if you hit that subscribe button, you'll see fireworks. I know, you should probably try it out. Maybe even the thumbs up button. I bet you the thumbs up button might give you some fireworks too. Just try it out for me. Push that button and see if it works.
So this time we are beginning with her hair color that has about grown out a few inches. This is where her old color melt was. It faded very nicely because we use a demi color, not a permanent color. Don't use a permanent color to do your color melts or root shadows unless you're trying to lift. Just use a demi and you will not have future problems when people try to change their hair color. So that lifted nicely. However, there's always going to be pigment left over in the hair, so we have to take that into consideration when during lightening process. I use Blonde Dimensions and 20 volume in her hair with a Olaplex. Now I'm just going to go through and do a baby highlight, fine weave highlight with some teas because we are just adding highlights from basically the mid shaft through the ends of her hair. We're kind of sprinkling them throughout because we still want her kind of caramely highlights and her darker zone 1 and zone 2 because she does not want to feel really blonde, but she does want to be able to have some fun with blonde, and her having long hair, she's able to do that. You see here I'm just kind of zigzagging that section out because I just think that's just a little extra added blend. Taking the section and then teasing it up and then fanning it up, you're going to have a more even blend. And anytime I could get extra blend, I incorporate that. Especially when you are doing the highlights so low on the hair, you don't want it to look like it's just been grown out a while. And you don't want it to just like the dark to stop and then the blonde to start. You want to have a really nice transition, and by adding as many steps as you can to make that transition more seamless, just do it because it's all worth it in the end. I'm using the Fermar, like the chip brush, the paintbrush type of brush, and feathering that up with the tease and the zigzag, and you're going to have a really nice blend along with the color melt I'm going to do again. It is so seamless. It's amazing. Now I just finished doing the same pattern up through the head and on the sides and the top, and once I get done with this part, I actually go through and balayage more highlights on the ends. I'm just using my fingers here to get some extra blending. All right, now we're done with that part. I'm going to go back through and do another foiliage, but just closer to her end. So basically, think of her hair as 3 zones. There's zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. Zone 1 is her root area, the first few inches. We're keeping that dark. Zone 2 is the middle part, and zone 3 are the ends. In zone 2, we are adding what we just did was the highlights, and which will be in zone 2 and 3. Now we are just adding more brightness to zone 3, or her ends. It'll give it that ombre look and feel of a dark, medium to light, a true color melt. And here's the madness while she processes. She processed about 30 to 45 minutes. Afterwards, we took her to the bowl and rinsed her out. So after shampooing and towel blotting her very, very well, I mix up the shades creams from Redken, the Mocha and the Cover Plus, the 6M. And it's such an awesome color. I really love this color and this tone. And since it's a Cover Plus, means that it does blend in the gray better than your other demis, because it has just a touch of ammonia in it, just enough to kind of make it stick a little bit better. And I'm only using 10 volume, and you want to assess it as a level 5. So when you use these colors in the Cover Pluses, not the basic regular shades creams, those are true to the levels. But just like any other gray coverage tone, you always assess a level darker, right? Well, this is the same with the Cover Pluses. Now, I'm applying it to the root and I'm stretching it down to blend in the highlights we just did. And notice that I did not comb out the teas after washing your hair. This is because I want the teas to stay there. It's going to give me the same type of help with the color melt as it does when you're adding a highlight. It's going to blend a lot better. I'm actually bringing the color over top of that tease, and then once I rinse that out and comb it out, it's going to give that extra blend there, the same as it would when you're blending in the highlight. Now there's many names for this technique. It could be called a root stretch, it could be called a color melt. This is a technique that you're melting everything together to get that transition, and it's perfect because I'm adding depth to her base, and then I'm also stretching it down over the highlights where they start, so it blends them in, but it will take on a little bit lighter of a level where the highlights are, obviously, because there's the hair there was already lighter. Even if your goal isn't to darken the natural base, you could still do this technique with the level that you want. So whatever you want the color. So basically, if I wanted to have just her natural root transition to a darker blend, transitioned to a lighter blonde, I would probably use like a level 8 or even 7, depending on what my goal was, and spreading it down throughout the exact same way, because you're going to get a better blend and a more melty look. And to kill two birds with one stone, I don't know why I say that. I kind of hate that saying. But anyways, to get the idea, I'm adding Olaplex number 2 to do the step 2 treatment because I used it in the lightener. So you have to do step 2, and I'm going to have it on there while her color melt is processing. So one of my favorite toners lately is actually mixing the 10 neutral and the 9 matte together from Shades EQ Gloss. Now I know the mochas, the M's and the creams are mochas. The M's and the glosses are mattes. Don't confuse that, because you're going to get a totally different result than you're thinking if you are. However, she has some warmer tones. We brought her light enough, but there's some warmer, brassier tones in there I like to control with the blue-green base that the mattes have. And they are just amazing. You don't need a lot, but it's not too potent. It's actually, I find it to be less harsh than the natural ashes. And I just let that sit for about 5 to 7 minutes until I got the tone that I wanted. And it ended up very pretty. It just adds just enough of the ashy pigments in there to give it a beautiful sandy tone effect. And that's what's, I think, really popular right now lately, is the sandy, the lighter, or even medium browns and lighter blondes, that people are trying to achieve those more sandy tones. And the mattes and the Shades Gloss are perfect for that. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. Like I said in the beginning, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and do so now. And if you did like this video, don't hesitate to give me a thumbs up, because that really helps me and helps my channel out. And it keeps me being able to get more educational tutorials out to you. Thanks. Bye.